Okay, so I put a post up on my personal Instagram, and I just put it up on my business Instagram if you want to go read that. But the thing is, I know how you feel, and I can't say I've totally nixed it because I don't like how I feel in a bikini, but that, like, I used to, it wasn't until, was it last year? 2017. It wasn't until the end of 2017 until the middle of 2018. Actually, I think it was 2018. It wasn't around then until around then until I actually started feeling okay training in a crop and shorts. Like, I was so self-conscious for all those years in covering my stomach, and mainly because I don't have hips. My hip bones, leg bones, whatever you want to call it, and my rib bones have this much space between them. So I have no waist, I should say. I have no waist. I'm just a block. And the only reason that I get that Morphe shape is because I pose in my photos. But if I'm just standing there, I look like I have a fat, chunky midsection. And when I'm training, it comes out even more. Now, it wasn't until I was training at this other gym in 2018 where it was a CrossFit gym, and CrossFit classes were held at night times. So when I trained there in the mornings, there was no one there. So that's where I got my confidence to just wear crop and shorts, because I am someone that's always so hot that shirts are too hard for me to train in. So by the time I moved back to my current gym where there's so many people, it was the first time I was able and am able to just train in crops and shorts, because I've developed that confidence over time. I stopped caring what other people think, and I started realizing that this is my body. If they don't accept me the way that I am, they can fuck off. The people that actually care about me know me as I am, and they know who I am. And yeah, so, like, it's so normal to worry about what other people think until you truly start to focus on other things. And yeah, you need to do the TKEs. So write a note in your Excel if you have to. Because what I used to do when I used to have my programming in Excel, which I missed because Excel was a lifesaver, I used to have a tab. You can do the same with you. Have a tab of your own, and all my feedback you can put into that separate tab. And if you need to do anything extra, you can add that into the actual training program and write a little note where I write like the set weights that I want to do. You can just like add to the end of it, do TKEs before this, so you remind yourself. But basically, sorry, I don't really wear pants, but basically what you want to, what did I step on? Basically what you want to do is, okay, so the band's around there, your foot is flat on the ground, you're going to do, actually no, your foot is on your tippy toes at the front, and you're going to lock it out like that. You want to make sure it stays flat at the top. You're not going to go from tiptoes to tiptoes. You're going to be tiptoes to flat. And you're going to fight against that band. And you're just going to keep doing that. And then you'll find that once you pull the bar up, what I think of, like, this is why sometimes I get, like, some friends that don't know me say, that's the issue with you, that you're locking your knees before you lock out. I'm like, no, it's because if I don't focus on my knee lockout, I don't have the power to finish the lift. So what you want to think of is, you bring the bar to here, and as soon as you get to your knees, you just think, lock the knees. And if your body is doing everything it needs to, by the time you lock the knees, because you're so tight here, lock the knees, that brings you straight up. That's why I have such developed lats, because in everything and anything that I do, I always feel my lats. So when you go to pick up the bar, you go, oh, see how I just bent? So you think about bending the bar like that. Like that, and you'll find that it comes really fluid. But yeah, basically you need to realize that we all have those self-conscious issues, and right now I'm eating more food than I have in over 2 years, and I can't say it didn't freak me out, especially because I'm so used to, like, I got to a stage where I was such in a chronically dieted state, because I always have to weigh in at a certain number when I do my powerlifting, that I'm always scared about going over it. So I always tried to keep under 56 kilos, but then they got a point where even eating that food, my body weight just shot up to like, I don't even know, but it shot up way above it. And I found I had to diet on such low food to get there. So I was so used to having to eat such little food and having to fill myself up on like lettuce and a lot of diet shit just to get through it. And that's not the life I want to live. I don't want to keep chasing that. And the thing is, I don't give a shit about the scales. The only reason that I have to worry about them right now is because next March is my last comp that needs my weight. And then when I go on stage, I'm not going to give a shit about it anymore, because they're not going to weigh you. They're not going to measure your body fat percentage. They just want to see you as you are on stage. And that's kind of like life. Like, people don't care about that other stuff. They care about you as you. And you just need to act confident and think about it as, I can shape up a body in any way that I need to if you're in the right state and if you build enough strength, muscle, and pretty much the pyramid's here. If you give me a really good base to work with, the pyramid's mighty. But yeah, I just wanted to do a video check-in like this because I want you to stop focusing so much on all that, and honestly, don't worry about the dickheads that comment, because that's saying more about them than it is about you. Focus on other things. Like, when I start to worry about anything, I start to focus on what I can do and things that I'm positive about. Like, the other day, I was like, because I have a really sensitive stomach, so some days I have really fat days, and that's why I did that post in the group the other day, if you remember it, where I said, I guess you wouldn't have said that I look really fat in this photo, I look the same as every other day, but I honestly felt like I was big and massive, and I was just like, to my friends, I'm like, I feel like a fat cow. I'm so obese today. And they just looked at me, and I'm just like, I feel like an obese balloon. And they're like, what, bloated, watery? I'm like, no, I just feel like I'm obese. Because if I eat something that my gut reacts to, I feel like shit. And I didn't let that stop me from lifting heavy. I didn't let that stop me from doing my program. I didn't let that stop me from eating the way that I should be eating that day. I followed everything. The only thing I did different was I drank more fluid. Because when I drink more fluid, I feel better. So that's the only difference I made. And I drank more cold fluids, like diet cordials. I have my diet cordials here, and then I usually put my coffees in these two. I didn't have a lot of coffee or tea. I had more diet cordial, because I feel like if I have the hotter drinks, it makes me feel more heavier. But having that cold drink made me feel lighter. And you need to separate what you think about yourself, your thoughts, and realize that your thoughts aren't you. And something I remember, because I've been through cutting and like bulking cycles. I hate saying bulking. I should say cutting and improvement and all those cycles, more than you know. And I've realized the last 2 years I've actually looked like shit. And you might say no, but in my eyes, I've looked like shit. I have not been able to accomplish the look that I want while I'm training, let alone after I'm training, compared to what I used to do. And that's because when I first started this lifestyle, my body was in a really healthy state, and I wasn't chronically dieted. I wasn't starving myself, but going through all the comps that I did 10 bodybuilding comps in 3 years, and I did 8 of those in 2 years. And that ruined my body so much, and it's still recovering now, even though my last comp was in 2017. Because if you're chronically dieted for that long, because that was like a 3-4 year gap, it takes 3 to 4 years for you to come out of it. So for however long you dieted, it can take that long for you to come out of it, and I'm still trying to get out of it. So I have another probably 1 or 2 more years until my body's regulated. Like, I can't let myself diet again until, at the earliest, the end of next year. And by diet, I mean get to an extra lean level, and that's why I'm putting off the stage for so long. But I really do want to get back up there again, just to see what difference it's made, and I want to do it a much healthier way. As in, like, I want to make sure that I'm not just, because the last comps, I was just like pushing myself out there because I was trying to experiment. I was learning things to apply to my coaching, to like test different methods to see how different things respond. But this time I want to make sure that my body's in the right place before I do it again. So looking back at how I used to look, I think that I look like shit now. I look worse than I used to look. But then people say to me, you've got so much more muscle density. Your muscles are much more mature. You look way better now. I'm like, I looked way better before. You don't understand. But I realized today, which you'll see in that post, that it's taken me 4 years to get my abs to pop the way that they did because of all the groundwork that I did. Like, they didn't pop until last year. That's taken me 4 years. And now it's my 5th year training soon. And my 5th year training starts in November. Like, because I started November 2015. Wait. No. This is my 5th year. I started January. I signed up November 2014 and I started training the new year, because it was my New Year's resolution and I stuck to it, the new year in 2015. But I was doing like little fitness stuff just before then. I just wasn't doing proper weight training. Well, I should say gym training until then, because I was at uni and my uni was exercise sports science, so I was doing some training there, but I never actually stepped into a gym until New Year's that year. So I was doing training and I was eating up, like, everything in 2014 was food-based, which shows the importance of food. And then in 2015, I started the weights because I was a stick before I started. And by feeding myself up and giving myself the protein and stuff that I need, I already put on like 4 kilos before I started. And then I was able to actually increase that the right way while I'm actually training and putting it to good use. But yeah, basically, that's my little ramble for you. Hope you got something out of it. Oh, I should explain that. The reason why I used to look good is because my body was in a healthy state and I got out of the dieting, and also because I was able to come from a state where I was so replenished with carbs with food that when I cut down, I was still able to eat carbs and keep my muscles full. But now it's needing to get to the healthy state, the replenished state, a state where I'm at a stable place until then. But yeah, that's my feedback for you. And this week it's all about focusing on fixing some things. You have a couple of things to increase. Things that I didn't change the reps on. I'm only changing reps on the main exercises. So squats and deadlifts I'm changing. The rest I just want you to aim for getting the extra total reps. So if you get an extra rep on the first set, you increase your volume by, say if it's increasing your bench DB press by just say you got 20 kilo dumbbells and you increased it by a rep on the first set, you just increased your day's volume by 20. That's the goal for this week. So, yeah.